What's going on, guys? Mr. Boy Firedragon CK here. I'm here to bring you guys another video, except this one is actually going to be a bit more of a discussion. And I wanted to address this a long time ago, like a couple weeks ago, and I just never got around to it. So I'm going to touch on this now, and I'm going to address this in full in this video. And before anybody comments about this video, I at least just ask you to give me the common decency to at least watch this video in full before you decide to write your comment. Okay, so let's get into this. So the title of this video is called Convenience in Fighting Games, right? So you're probably wondering, well, what is convenience in fighting games? What are you talking about, Firedragon? Don't worry about that. That's what the whole purpose of this video is. So I'm going to address convenience in fighting games and why it's lame and why I feel like it needs to stop, right? It's just really lame, and it's just so whack, man. Honestly, to be blunt, it's just whack as hell. Now, first, let's go and define exactly what convenience is, right? What is convenience? Well, a classic definition of convenience is the state of being able to proceed with something with little effort or difficulty, right? It allows you to continue to trot on and live your everyday life while minimizing the effort needed to put in to do something or achieve something. It makes things easier and more comforting to you. It makes you have to do less effort, right? That's basically what the definition of convenience is in short. So now convenience exists in our everyday world all the time, right? Here's a classic example of convenience. Let's say you, your family, whatever, you guys are shopping, right? Let's say you're in, say, a Walmart or any clothing store, wherever you want to be at. You're in a Walmart and you're shopping, and after you're done shopping, after you check out, you know, you have all your groceries, you have all your goods, you have all your clothes, whatever. You now are really hungry and you would like something to eat, right? Now, normally, after shopping, you would then have to go and find another place to sit down, you know, and eat, you know, to satisfy your hunger. But what the thing about a lot of places like Walmart, let's say Target or Kmart, is you have the option of convenience, because after you eat, most of these places have McDonald's inside of them. Places like Subway, they make it more convenient for you, so there's less effort for you to have to go out of your way to find a separate place to eat. So they conveniently put an eatery inside of the shopping center, right? That is an example of convenience. Now, we're going to translate convenience to fighting games, right? We're going to translate convenience to fighting games. So convenience regarding fighting games, there are really about 3 factors that I boil down to convenience in fighting games. And we're really going to touch on 4 subjects in this video, but the fourth subject is really a situation that involves the previous 3 forms of convenience in fighting games. So let's start this, right? No further ado. Okay, the first point of convenience in fighting games is option selecting, as in situations that are convenient. So, what is option selecting? Well, in fighting games, option selecting is when you do something that covers both options. It's when you do something that can cover 2 or more options that a character has, right? So let's say that I'm playing Scorpion and I do a neutral jump punch. Whether the Scorpion player decides to slide or whether he decides to teleport, my neutral jump punch will cause both of those to whiff. That is a classic example, one of the most prevalent examples of option selecting in this game that we're playing right now, right? Mortal Kombat X. Now, people do the same thing when they play you in fighting games. So let's say I play somebody in a set in a first to 10, and let's say when I play them, the score is, say, 10-3 or the score is, say, 10-2. The person will then say, oh, the only reason why you beat me 10-3 or 10-2 is because at the time when I played you, I was tired. Okay, fine. Maybe that is true. Maybe they really were tired. Who knows, right? Then the second time when you play them, they go and they say, oh, see, I wasn't tired now. The score is 10-9, so I'm not tired now. See, now that I'm well rested, I was able to play you much better. And then, after, so the first time you played them, the score was 10-2, 10-3. The second time you played them, the score was 10-9, right? Then let's say you play them in about 2 or 3 more first to 10s, and the score becomes 10-2 or 10-3. And it's like, what are you going to tell me? That those other 3 first to 10s that I won after that, where the score was 10-3 or 10-2, you're going to tell me that every single one of those first to 10s between those 30 games, you were just tired every single time? No. That is a classic example of convenience. What you did is you option selected right there. So since you did better, you were rested. Since you did worse, you were tired. A classic example of option selecting right there. and people making a convenient excuse to help suit their narrative, right? Next that I want to touch on is downplaying a character or a set of characters, right? When people go and they lose really badly in sets, they tend to always downplay their characters and try to make it seem as if their characters are trash, which is the reason why they lost, right? Now, this is something that is a bit more touchy and not as one-sided, because yes, anybody that plays fighting games should know that matchups do exist. There are matchups in fighting games where certain characters do better than others. It's just the nature of fighting games. It's just how fighting games work. Certain characters, the way that they're designed, do better against others, right? Now, we understand that. But then what people will do is they will try to use that to their advantage. They'll say that the only reason why they lost is because you were using character X and I was using character Y. Now, the reason why this is a bit 50-50 situation for me is because, yes, while it is true that your character may lose a certain matchup, you're the one that picked the character. The opposing player can't force you to choose a character. You decided to play that matchup, right? Like recently I played one of my good friends in this game, my friend DJ, and I played his Tanya in a 1st to 10, right? And I decided to use Aaron Black. I know that Tanya generally beats Aaron Black and it's a really hard matchup for him, but I just wanted to play it because I wanted to play as Aaron Black. You know, I'm not going to go and say that oh, it's your fault because this is a bad matchup. It's like, okay, it's a bad matchup, but you're the one that decided to choose the character. DJ actually beat me. My boy DJ beat me 10-4. Shout out to DJ if he's watching this. He beat me 10-4 with Aaron Black, right? Whereas when I was using Aaron Black and Scorpion, he still beat me, but the score was 10-9, right? So that isn't really too much of an option select because you actually can see the difference. When I use Aaron Black only, I lost 10-4. But when I use Scorpion, who's a bigger tier character, I actually won 10-9. So that isn't really an option select. That is actually something that actually exists in fighting games. But the whole point that I'm trying to make is this. After DJ beat me 10-4 with Aaron Black, I didn't complain about it. I was like, GG's, man. I was like, if anything, I actually joked with him. I was like, dang, I just got wrecked. I just got freed up. Because he beat me. It's like the matchup was bad, but I chose to use Aaron Black. That's not his fault that I chose to use Aaron Black. I just chose to use Aaron Black because I wanted to. Not because, it's not like he's obligated to choose a different character based on who I choose. Like, that's the whole point of fighting games. You, the player, choose your characters. So you can't always use bad matchups to sort of, you know, as an excuse. And the next thing I want to talk about is people that downplay characters. Now, there are bad matchups, and there are certain times where people will find a good character and try to make it seem like that good character is bad. For example, right? Let's say that somebody uses Smoke, right? And I'm using Scorpion. That Smoke player goes and complains and says, dang, Scorpion has so much 50-50s and he does so much damage. It's like, dude, you're using Smoke. It's like, you should be the last person complaining about 50-50s. Like, how can you use Smoke and then complain about 50-50s? That's like somebody that uses Katana and complains about sector zoning. It's like, dude, you're complaining about sector zoning, but you're playing as Katana. Like, you can't try to downplay your character to go and like throw shade at another character when your character is just as good. Like, you can't try to do that. Like, you can't go and say that, oh, I hate characters that have godlike wake ups, but you're using Reptile, whose EX slide is the fastest wake up in the entire game. Like, you can't be so convenient and try to and ignore all the pluses to your character and only talk about all the pluses to another character. It's like, your character has advantages too. You have to talk about everything. You can't just be convenient. So now let's talk about the two factors we went over. So the first one we went over, for all those that forgot, was option selecting. The second issue that we went over was downplaying your character. Now here's the final topic, right? The final regard to this is telling everybody what you want them to know, which is also a big part of convenience in fighting games, right? So let's say somebody beats me in a match, right? Somebody will be like, oh, I just beat Firedragon in a match. So they'll tell everyone the fact that they beat me, but what they won't tell everyone is the fact that we played a total of 50 games. So yeah, you beat me once of the 50 games we played, but the person isn't going to tell them that we played 50 games. They're only going to tell them the fact that they managed to beat me. You see what I mean? You're only telling people what you want them to know. You're not going to tell them the actual full context of the situation. People will be like, I beat Firedragon 10 times. It's like, yeah, you beat me 10 times, but what they won't tell you is that we actually played 100 to 150 games. But people won't mention that. They'll only tell you the information that they conveniently want you to know. You see what I mean? That is how convenience is tied into fighting games. So this is just a classic example of telling people what you want them to know, so that way it can conveniently suit your narrative that you're trying to push, which again is a big factor in convenience. So now, this is the final thing that I want to touch on in this video. So the 3 aspects of convenience in fighting games was number 1, option selecting. Number 2 was downplaying your character or other characters. And number 3 was telling everyone what you want them to know. So now, here is the 4th topic that I'm going to talk about. The 4th topic is this whole situation with Ninja Killer beating Sonic Fox. Now, this happened months ago, and you guys are probably wondering, Firedragon, why you bring this up now? This is old news by now. And you would be right. This is old news. But the reason why I'm bringing this situation up is because this is a classic example of convenience in fighting games that recently happened that actually has all 3 of the aforementioned aspects that I talked about in this video. So, for all those that don't know the situation, unless you've been living under a rock, Ninja Killer basically is a godlike Liu Kang player who everybody praises for his amazing execution, his reads, and just the overall way that he plays Liu Kang. He just brought the character to all new heights that we've just generally never seen before, right? So Ninja Killer, since he was on a tear and he was getting so much popularity in the NRS community, everyone naturally wanted to see him play who many people deem to be the best, Sonic Fox. So Ninja Killer himself didn't really want to play Sonic Fox, but everybody else wanted him to. So he said, okay, fine, I'll play Sonic Fox and I'll stream it since all you guys want to see it so bad. So when Ninja Killer played Sonic Fox, he ended up getting totally wrecked. Sonic Fox, that is. Ninja Killer was destroying Sonic Fox, right? And of course, after Ninja Killer beats Sonic Fox, everybody draws for their classic 3 examples for convenience in fighting games. So after Ninja Killer beat Sonic Fox, one of the things people did was option select, which was, oh, the only reason why Ninja Killer beat Sonic Fox is because Sonic Fox is very rusty at the game. He hasn't been playing it recently. While that is true, that is an example of an option select, because you guys were not saying that before when you guys wanted Ninja Killer to play Sonic Fox. But now that he beat Sonic Fox, you guys are saying, oh, Sonic Fox is so rusty. Why weren't you guys saying that before? It seems like you're only saying that now just because Sonic Fox managed to lose. How convenient is that? And then best believe that if Sonic Fox were the one to beat Ninja Killer, everybody would have been like, see, Ninja Killer isn't as good as you guys said he was. So that right there is an option select. If Ninja Killer had lost, everybody would have said that he's not that good. And now that he won, people use the excuse of the only reason why he won is because Sonic Fox is rusty. See how unfair that is? That right there is a prime example of option selecting. Number 2 is downplaying characters. So Ninja Killer's character, Liu Kang, yes, is one of the strongest characters in the game. I understand that, and I'm not going to deny that. You would be a fool to say that Liu Kang is not a great character, because he is. He's godlike, and he's sort of broken. But here's the thing that I want people to realize. You do realize that Liu Kang can be beaten, right? Despite how good he is, you can beat Liu Kang with other characters if you play well. I mean, look at the characters that Sonic used during that set that he played with Ninja Killer. He used characters such as Unstoppable Jason, such as Hollywood Cassie, such as Sector. All these characters are viable enough to beat Liu Kang, even in Dragonfire. I mean, we even seen Scar play Ninja Killer, and Scar Smoke was able to beat Ninja Killer's Dragonfire Liu Kang. So why are people making it seem as if, despite Ninja Killer using Liu Kang, like Sonic Fox used characters that were totally trash? Dude, he's using Hollywood Cassie. He's using Unstoppable Jason. He's using Sector. These characters are actually good. These are some of the best characters in the game right now. So why are people making it seem as if the only reason why Ninja Killer won is because he used a broken character? Meanwhile, Sonic Fox was using characters that are actually good. Now, the only excuse I can see is when people try to say that, well, Sonic Fox also used Aaron Black, which is true because Aaron Black gets destroyed by Liu Kang. But why are people making it seem as if Sonic Fox was playing Aaron Black the whole time? He used Aaron Black for a couple of games. I think he may even use him maybe 1 or 2 games, and he just immediately switched because he realized that the matchup was terrible. So Sonic Fox was just getting outplayed. But of course, everybody just likes to make excuses to suit their narrative. And the final thing I want to talk about is telling everybody what you want them to know. The only thing people are going to say is that Sonic Fox is rusty at the game. But what they're not going to tell you is the fact that Ninja Killer didn't even want to play Sonic Fox. The whole reason why he wanted to play Sonic Fox is because of the community wanting him to play him. So the community, it seems like they're just option selecting because they didn't get what they wanted. What they wanted was for Ninja Killer to play Sonic Fox and lose. But since Ninja Killer went against the odds and actually destroyed Sonic Fox, now everybody is trying to figure out a convenient way to weasel way out of it and make excuses. That's basically what happened in this scenario. So that just goes back to convenience. The original definition, which is to make something easier for you and to make something take less effort for you. So instead of people coping with the fact that Sonic Fox just lost and got outplayed, they're now making excuses to make it easier for them to cope with the fact that Ninja Killer just simply beat him. That's basically what happened in that scenario, and that's basically what happens in fighting games. People, instead of losing, they want to come up with defense mechanisms as to why they lost. They don't want to admit that they got outplayed because it forces them to have to go to the lab and it forces them to have to reevaluate the way that they play. But since people don't want to do that, they want to blame every single reason why they lost as to everything in the clear blue sky. They want to blame the fact that cats and dogs are raining from the sky while they lost. They want to blame the fact that they were blindfolded while playing you while they lost. They want to blame the fact that they didn't have the use of their thumbs while they lost. They want to blame the fact that they were eating while they lost. They want to blame the fact that they had to camp out in Timbuktu while they lost. So you get the point that I'm saying. Eventually you'll have excuses and they're just going to run out and they're going to get more and more and more ridiculous as time goes on. So in closing for this video, I just wanted to say this, guys. Fighting games are meant for you to play and always learn and always adapt and innovate yourself. Even today in Mortal Kombat X, I've been playing this game for now 4 years and I still learn new things almost every day. Why? The reason why I learn new things is because I don't be convenient. When I lose, I try to figure out ways maybe I can get around the situation. If you always blame your loss on something else, you'll never succeed and you'll never get as good as you potentially could be because you're limiting yourself. You're trying to be convenient. You're trying to make it easier to cope with the fact that you lost. But once you accept your loss and once you actually go in full stride and lab, it's going to help you become a better player in the long run. That's what separates pro players from average players. It's what separates good players from players that will always remain convenient as long as they play fighting games. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed my take on this one, man, convenience in fighting games. Share it with anybody you know that may be convenient or anybody that has talked about this issue with you or anybody you feel that you would love to hear this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, man. Firedragon out, guys. Alright, peace.